Hello, welcome back to the Spider's Web, and in this video we're going to be doing an unboxing plus making thing. I bought something last week and the first time I've had a chance to get cracking with it, so we're going to get cracking with it. Yes indeed. To show you what it is, we'll have to go down to the table, so why don't we? Okay, so this is it. It's the Time at Zodiac wall clock. It's all an MDF kit, and we're going to unbox it now, have a look at some of the all the components and everything, and then if we have a chance we're going to get cracking on making a start making this. This one is going to take some time and it's probably going to take a few videos, but let's get in it, shall we? So first off, we need a knife of opening because it's sellotaped at the sellotape here. I have not a clue as to whether or not there is any, whether it's laser cut and has the burnt edges. If so, I'm going to have to wash all the wipe all the pieces down with a damp rag or damp cloth beforehand. And if that's the case, I'm just going to leave this as an unboxing. But this is going to be a series, as I say, starting off the construction of this piece. Now, that's what's stopping. Oh, more tape. I can't see for looking. Piece there, piece there. So let's open up and have a look. I think it is laser cut, but I think it's already pre-washed because it doesn't look too bad, to be honest. So let's take, in fact, let's move the box out of the way and we can take things out as and when, as and when we need them. Okay, so we have our MDF pieces first off, but don't look at them yet. We have instructions. So let's go through these, shall we? Zoom in a touch so we can see them. There we are. So this is how we make the kit itself. So first off, as you can see, hopefully you can see this, we have a warning. This product is for people who include and over 14 years old. Kids should assemble under the guidance of adults. It says keep products away from the source of ignition and water to prevent damage. Don't use chemical reagents like alcohol, ammonia, water to clean the product. Use clean and soft fabric to clean the product if necessary. It gives you instructions on what to do when you start. So it doesn't say anything about wiping these down with a damp cloth. It does say, however, polish the parts with sandpaper to enhance the aesthetic feeling and gear lubrication. So we have a few things here. Now we have parts list. Okay, so we have two 25mm slotted brass screws, 6 28mm slotted brass screws, two 35mm slotted brass screws, 10 square nuts, 1 hex nut, 1 metal washer, 1 rubber gasket, the movement, 1 second hand, a minute hand, an hour hand, wax, 1 piece of wax, 1 tube of glue, 1 piece of sandpaper, a round nut, a hex nut, an adhesive hook, 1 nails. I'm assuming that's 1 pack of nails. I don't know. It could be just 1 nail, and a hook. And this is C1 spare parts, and this is E5 spare parts. So E5 is Duke New. A1, B1 and C1 are general small parts with lowercase lettering, okay? So it does say here, ensure the connection of gears smoothly. You fix with glue, you flip to assemble, you wax the grey parts with Remind. So printed side, blank side, that's for the MDF. Special attention to assembly. These are the icons that you'll see. This is the legend for the icons that you'll see throughout the book. Okay, so this seems just like a normal model kit. The only difference is it's made of MDF rather than plastic, so there's no sprues. But it does show you step by step on how to do things. This looks really complicated from the first look, and that's it. Hopefully I can get away with this, but we will see. It's a bit expensive if I couldn't. But yeah, it all looks quite nice and easy to put together, or easy enough to put together. But yeah, that is the only got a coloring page at the back. That's nice. So yeah, that's the instruction book. We'll get on with that later on. Next in the pack we have this piece, which is the. Let's open the book again to the parts list, and this will be the adhesive hook. Then we have on the screws, washers, nuts, and the rubber gaskets. And then we have the 10 small glue nuts. There's a piece of wax that we use to lubricate any moving parts. We have the hands of the clock. We have the tube of glue. And we have the clock's movements thing, and it takes a AA battery. I think that's everything from there. Yeah. That is everything out of the box. I'm going to put these back in so that nothing gets lost. And then we can look at this beastie. Let me zoom out so we can get it all in. There we are. So where do we start? Knife of opening, I think. Knife of opening. Gently split down there. Oh, right. Little piece of sandpaper. Then we have these pieces. Now this colour of wood looks like a cherry. It's not actually it's plywood. It's not actually thin sheets of MDF, which is nice. So this looks like a cherry plywood. It's quite a red wood, and this would give it some depth, this colour. And the main outward parts would be this, what I would say is pine. And this gives you on the astrological symbols. Where's mine? Come on, where's mine? Oh, there we are. There's mine. And then we have here some cogs and little spacers, I would imagine these would be. Same there. These things won't have like these efforty bobs here. They'll probably sit through there and attach as a kind of grouping to keep it steady and level. Next, we'll have what's this bit? This bit anything? No, it's just a piece of paper. Right. Now then, these are the big sheets. As you can see from this, it's not terribly smoky looking. So it looks like I definitely won't need to wipe this down as I would with a normal laser cut MDF kit. As you've seen me do so before, I'll not be doing that with this because it doesn't look as though it needs it. But this looks incredibly intricate. We have the months here, we have the days of the week here, numbers, more numbers, so they will probably go inside that. This will probably go inside there and give the date. Numbers, these will be for around the edge of the clock for telling the time, so we'll have the time in Roman numerals. And let's have a look at the back. Yeah, again, very clean surface to work on. A little bit of burning here. That's all I can see. Like a laser cut burnt edging, but very nice indeed. And as you can see, we've got different sizes of these pegs that I showed you earlier. If I go back to the other one, that's the peg I showed you earlier, and this is, I would say, twice as long. These ones. Now, this particular board that we looked at first, this seems like a darker shade of wood, but that's always to be expected. It's a natural product. And here along the top of this it says, time cannot add to a person's life, but cherishing time can make life more valuable. If I can put that there, that is a lovely saying. I hope you can read that. That's what it says. Okay. So we have part numbers. In fact, I'll go back to the big sheet. You might be able to see it better there. And I will zoom in. Okay, so along with all the details, you have part numbers here. So that piece is C12, this piece is C11. I'm assuming we're like this piece, the part number is actually on the piece. I'm assuming that part will not be seen. That's why it's printed on there. But yeah, very nice indeed. So let's have a look at the rest of the pieces. I don't think I'm going to get to start this in this video. This is the main body of the clock. This is the back. This hole here is where the movement sits. We have more cogs. It's very, very, you see there. This reminds me of Doctor Who in some respects, with the Gallifreyan lettering and stylization. But it is supposed to be a steampunk themed clock, but has the Zodiac signs on it as well. But that's that piece. And then we have the final piece, which is in this dark reddish coloured wood. Don't know whether it's cherry. I'm not an expert in wood, but I'm saying it's cherry because of the colouring. It may not be, but I don't know. Either way, it's still nice. And we have some more sentences here. Another year, another season. Change is only time. Unchanged is waiting. And if we turn it round, there's this part here. Time has no present, eternity has no future, and no past. And oh, I found another little pearl of wisdom here. What does it say? Memory is the ash of time turned into a drop of agar branded in the brain. Going to have to find out what agar is, or agar, A-G-A-R. I've heard the word before, but I'm not quite sure what it means. So there we are. I might give this a little bit of a wipe down with a damp cloth because it's a little unclear, it's a bit smudged because of the burning with it being etching. But that, I think, is the only bit. I found another piece. Another one of these little sentences. Just on this part here. Time treats people equally, but the value of time in everyone's hand is different. Very nice. So that is the pieces. Now let's have a look and see what there is to start. Okay, so we can actually do a little bit, I think, while we're here, just to get the ball rolling, shall we say. Oh, let's come back here. This big beast here is the piece that we need to push out first of all. Is that piece, and then A3 and A4. A3 and A4 are these longer pegs, so they get pushed out. I'm not doing a great deal in this video. As I say, I just want to make a start and get myself going, as it were. So which way is the right way for this? Okay, so let's go with that there. These fit here. Now A4 is the slightly A4, yeah, A4 is a slightly longer one. I shouldn't have done these. Where did it go? Where did it go? Oh, I see they go here. And it does actually say, it does actually tell you there which piece goes into it. I hadn't noticed that at first, but let's flip it over. I've been acting like a wild man, sleeping like a child. You're so luminous and vibrant, I'm always in bloom for you. Always in bloom, always in bloom for you. Okay, and these two A3 ones will go in the same. And it's also it does show you that these things here all go in the same relative direction, which is across the piece rather than shall we say along it, for want of a better word. Okay, and just press down, see if we can get these in like so. Okay, that's that bit. Next we want B3, which I think is on this big piece. I may be wrong. I think this is it. I'm looking for the, yes it is. It actually says there on a little bit that you wouldn't think, but here we are. So we'll take this off. Here we are. Oh, oh, oh. Come. I'm trying hard to do this without breaking it. It's difficult trying to get some of these pieces off by the look of it. So that's that. That's that. I'm going to take this piece off all as one because this piece has the number for. That's the piece we're using, but this piece is like a sprue part, and it has the number of the part etched on it. So I'm going to have to take this off as one piece. There we are. I'll place that in there, like so. And this goes on here by the look of it.
So many times I've stranded, a castaway, and I'm not sure of those stranger in this continent. I'm always in bloom for you, always in bloom, always in bloom for you.
Bits on the like so. Okay, so that's that bit done. Now what's next? What's C1s? Now C sprue we haven't touched yet, so we'll get the C sprue out. And C1s are these little discs that we've seen here. So we want how many of those? Oh, just 4. Okay. So I'll press those out. These like little spacers, washers, whatever you want to call them. I don't know. But these fit onto here. These will serve us 2 purposes. Not just a spacer between this piece and the piece on top. It will also help to lock these together so they don't move. E1. Right, which is E1? Is this E? Yep, and E1 is this bit here with the months of the year on it. Trying to do this, there's very fine cog on here, cog teeth. We need to take this out as well. Okay, so how does this fit? Does it matter? Yes, it does. It goes that way. I hadn't realised the centre part of it, but yeah, it will obviously matters because of the way the centre part is. So that goes on there like so. And then we go back to C1, which is the little cogs. So we haven't got little spacers, locking nuts, whatever you want to call them. Get some more of those. There's plenty of these, so we'll be using quite a few of them. So that goes on there. That goes on there. And I like the fact, okay, so I would say this could be cherry, and this could be something like oak, and this pine. Yeah, I don't know, because I hadn't realised there was as big a difference and this as there was, but never mind. Now what did that emblem mean? A printed side, okay. So what do we have next? This is where it starts getting a little bit fiddly, but we're going to do what we can do. B1, that's C sprout. B9, B1, B1, B1. Always one of them. Okay, so we have two different versions of B1. There's that one and that one. We can use either or. It's both exactly the same, but one goes on this side and one goes on that side. They are exactly the same piece, so we're not too worried about that. Okay, I'm a little puzzled because there's two things here marked B1. B1 is, yes, there are, yeah, two things marked B1. There's a capital B. I will zoom in on that. Hopefully you can see it okay. But you've got a capital B for the part number and this small b for like a sundry piece. And this is the other B1 that we need. So let's zoom out again. Okay, so do these go in a particular way? Yep. Judging by the diagram, these won't fit in like so. I don't know whether it makes any difference at all, but I'm following what the diagram says. It's upside down so I can see better where the hole is. There we are. Don't know why it took me so long to work that one out. Okay, so there's that and that part, but we have another step we need to do before we can fit this onto there. And that step is to use that little piece of wax. I love the fact that they've actually thought of putting this in rather than making you get your own. And this will go what I think I might do first off, find that little piece of sandpaper. Let me not use that. Let me use one of my little sanding sticks. It might be a little easier to use this than that piece of sandpaper. That piece of sandpaper may come in handy for other areas, but as it stands at the moment, the other areas aren't this area, so I'm just going to go over here and go on each of these cogs with this. There we go. Just run a little bit along it, or in this case across it, and do that. Now, which way does this go on? That way, I believe. Yes. So that goes on that way. There we are. That's done. What's next? B1 on the other side. So we're doing this piece of B1, and we do exactly the same thing with that. So we'll come back. Once we've done all this, I'm not going to go in. So once we've done this page, I'm going to give it a break. And we'll continue a little more in the next video, because I'm not sure whether we are intending to go out this afternoon or not. So which way does that go? It looks like it goes that way. There we are. And that's how it looks. So that's where we've got to so far. I said once we finish this page, we'll get it done. But I think that's the first part of construction. So I think what I'll do is I will leave it there, because from here on in, it's going to start getting a little bit more complicated to put together. So we've got a place to start, place to finish for each of these videos, and rather than just carrying on doing it and chopping the video up while editing, I'll keep a place to start and finish so that you can keep track of it. But that's how it's looking so far. I'm quite impressed with how it looks already. Cannot wait to see this finished. Well, that's it for this part of the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Until next time, as always, stay safe and take care. God bless, and bye for now.